And away we go. It is the Nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on BearcatJournal.com. You know the drill, www.galacticfriedchicken.com. Download the app for Android, iPhone, everything Galactic. Go to the app. They will bring it to your front door pretty much anywhere inside the 275 loop, or go down to Dayton, Kentucky, tell them to pump it up, and you will save 15% off of your order. All right. I have to give a disclaimer here, Aaron. It's a school night now. We haven't done one of these on a school night in a while. The kid is upstairs sleeping. I haven't had a puppy since we've been doing these on a school night. So the dogs might bark, and there's really not a whole lot I can do about it. So if you see my screen go black and my mute button go, I'm trying to calm the dogs down so we can do the podcast without their input.
Should be fun.
I think she's in there chomping on a bone right now. So
fingers crossed. You're gonna have to invest in some of that stuff.
Yeah. Oh, it's a loud noise. I don't know what's happening in there, and I can't see through the walls. So, and they've been in the crate all day, so they're ready to play. Like it's doggo time right now. Let's get this moving.
Let's get through this.
I do not have 28 hours in a day, unfortunately, right now. And luckily, because of the addition of Keegan, we've been able to get practice reports up for every practice that we have been at. I tried to get it up today, and I just had too much going on with volleyball and the first day of school and being a single dad. So,
due to the day.
Yeah. Due to the day, that's a tough one, man. I will go with Jordan Young. He had a really good pick in the corner of the end zone on red zone on a fade route to Xavier Henderson. Xavier Henderson is a big dude. You throw a fade route, Xavier Henderson is more often than not going to be able to get it. Jordan Young jumped up, one hand, snatched that thing away, and got the pick. It was good to see him get a little swag, get a little confidence, and hopefully that boosts him as we're getting through the back end of camp. So I will go with Jordan Young as my dude of the day. I'm so scared as to what's going on in the other room.
Xavier Henderson has probably 4 inches?
Yeah, I mean Jordan Young's 6 foot and maybe 6'1". Xavier Henderson is 6'5".
So 4 to 5 inches over. That's an impressive thing for Jordan Young to be able to do, especially when I won't say he's had a disappointing camp. That I don't mean to paint him in that light. But he's
lost
some of that shine that he had during spring practice because the receiving room got better.
Right, and I think we talked about this a little bit on the BCJ pod tonight, which is really good. If you haven't caught it, go catch it. Also, subscribe. I know we got a bunch of new people that are checking out this content. So make sure you do that. But I think, there were so few options in the spring that they had to test Jordan Young. Like they had to throw to the guys that were at the top of the roster. The interesting thing to me is we've not seen him get beat a lot. So that means he's doing his job of playing well in coverage. They're just not throwing at him. So he's not making a lot of the plays. They have thrown at Sammy Anderson, and Sammy Anderson has had the best camp of any of the corners. If you're talking maybe a defensive MVP at camp, it might be Sammy. And I think that is because guess what the quarterbacks learned in the spring? Don't test Jordan Young if you don't have to. And now maybe you're seeing that kind of, circle back around where okay, Sammy's playing really well. The bright side of that might be, and we'll find out in a couple weeks, does Cincinnati now have 2 pretty solid corners that they can rely on in coverage?
I'm pretty excited to hear that for Sammy. I was high on Sammy last year and was hoping.
I didn't like him I didn't love him in the nickel.
When
he's an outside corner.
Because he's too bouncy for nickel, right? Like he's quick, but he's not corner or playing in the nickel. It's a little different gain than playing on the outside, and with how high he can jump with his basketball prowess. I don't know. I think I'm excited to see what he can do on the outside. I don't think it's going to be anything that we saw out of like Kobe or Sauce or anything like that, but
Right.
I'm excited to see what he can do.
I do think we buried the lead a little bit with due to the day. The news of the day was no Emory Jones today. Probably not tomorrow. We'll see on Friday. Apparently, he had a dental issue that he had to get taken care of. He was there today, watching, but didn't participate. Nothing major. He'll be fine. Just something that
we're him and Zach Stipe sitting there holding bags of ice on their faces at the same time.
Pretty much. Pretty much. So yeah, that was kind of the lead story of the day, which meant Brady Lichtenberg was QB1 throughout the day today. I thought he had a really good day. He hit Shaman over the middle for a nice gain. He hit Braden Smith over the middle for a nice gain. A couple times he hit Xavier Henderson for a touchdown in the red zone. He hit Shaman for a touchdown in the red zone. The thing with Lichty is he can spin it. Like, he can really pass the football. That is his.
You've referred to him as a jugs machine, at least off air. I'm not sure if you've done it. I think you've done it on air as well.
I think it's actually the people from back home that refer to him as the human jugs machine, because he puts the ball in the right spot where it needs to go on time, with great consistency. So
I think his, if you had to say, and maybe I'm off base with this, I'm not sure, but I think his biggest drawback is the fact that he doesn't have the experience. He doesn't have the time in a moment to be shown that he can make the decision, whereas obviously Emory has had plenty of that.
Sure. I think that's fair. I think the thing with Lichty is he's more athletic than people think.
Agreed.
Like he can run it. He's not a guy that you're going to call a bunch of like design QB runs for, but if you get him in space, he can make the play.
He's going to make you pay for it too if he's getting by that first layer. Yeah.
So I thought you're in a situation where Emory Jones is your quarterback one. He's new. So many of the receivers are new. So 11 new starters on offense. We've talked about it 100 times. You have a hard time extracting him even for a day to see what the number 2 guy can do, because you're racing to the finish line for the start of the season. So you have something like this today. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing that for a day or two, Brady Lichtenberg gets to run the first team offense.
I'd agree. And you don't want to be in a situation where we had last year where Ben goes down, Evan comes in, and I don't know that Evan really ever looked comfortable.
Well, we found out, and I've talked about this. He hurt his shoulder in the South Florida game and didn't say a whole lot about it. So it was impacted the rest of the way. But you're right. Like, you're finding out on the fly with a guy that hasn't had a ton of first team reps with the offense. I think it's good to get Brady Lichtenberg a little bit. Well, and what else did, like, in the career of Brady Lichtenberg, Desmond Ritter, and then Ben Bryant and Evan Prater had their like, he's never really been given time to run that first team offense. So even in the spring, it was Emory and Ben.
Right. This is also a week where the offense sputtered just 2 days ago. And
it was awful.
I understand. But the point I'm making is the offense did have a day this week where it wasn't clicking on all cylinders.
It was bad.
You have a quarterback switch up running with the ones, and from the sounds of it, you didn't. I won't say you necessarily didn't lose a beat, but it sounds like it was more than serviceable.
I have a gunner update. You want a gunner update?
Sure.
Braden Smith fielding a live punt. Xavier Henderson and Aaron Turner flying down the field at the gunner positions. Put that pressure on Braden Smith. Fumble.
we almost saw that happen where Braden Smith almost lost it during the scrimmage on Saturday. Same situation where Xavier Henderson came down and he was the one causing the disruption, at least enough that Braden Smith, I think it was Braden back there. I'm not sure if it was Braden on that one or not. I thought it was though, but pooched it.
Yeah. Interesting. With if Xavier Henderson is going to be your gunner, he's fast as shit, and he's also 6'5". And punt returners are usually small.
Does it make you nervous to have guys that high up in the rotation?
No,
running your
Tyler Scott and Trey.
I understand. I understand.
Alec Pierce was a gunner. Like in the history of the last, since we become a gunner network.
Hear me out.
I'm not hearing you out.
Those guys
all were gunners.
You make points louder, and I get it. But Tyler Scott and Trey Tucker were also at the top of the weight room as far as just what they could do per pound.
You know what? They don't generally have to hit. They just have to get down there really fast and force a fair catch.
Okay.
There's not a lot of physicality in being a great gunner if you're a great gunner. That's my point. If you're a great gunner, you just get there and you're standing at the guy as he makes the catch.
Hanging out and as long as you're outside of the halo.
Right. There's not if you're a slow gunner, guess what you got to do? You got to make plays. If you're a guy that can get to the spot with one of the best punters in the nation, and that's probably why I don't have that concern that you have.
Sure.
Mason Fletcher is going to get the hang time. And the gunners are going to be able to get to the punt returner. And
if the punt returner is too close, he's just going to put it over their fucking head.
Yeah, I'm just going to put it over his fucking head. So, no, I don't have a great deal of concern. If the punting game was shaky, I would have your concern, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But knowing that Fletch is back there, it's going to be high. It's going to be 45 yards, 43 yards, whatever. They're going to have a chance to get right to the spot and wait for the ball, and there's going to be a fair catch, and then everybody goes about their business.
Anything else stand out to you today from camp?
Taj Ward, good day, had a tackle for loss and a pass breakup. Jack Dingle had an interception. Peak had an interception in the end zone at the end of practice. A little bit of a scary moment there with Raquan Atkins kind of landing awkwardly. But I don't think that's anything long-term to be concerned about, which is good because Raquan Atkins is a guy that's starting to flash a little bit more as a true freshman. I think
he made some plays. He made some plays during the scrimmage. Several times I remember looking down at my sheet and being like, "Who made that?"
14.
Tackle? Oh, yeah, that's Raquan Atkins. Okay.
Yeah, so I think he's going to be a guy that long term we're gonna have a lot to talk about. The offensive line did a good job in run blocking today. I'm feeling still pretty good about how they're run blocking. The pass blocking has improved. We haven't seen as much kind of jailbreak stuff that we saw a little bit earlier in the week, which means to me that they're learning how to pick up all these blitzes and all this stuff that Brian Brown is throwing at them that probably initially is like,
Good news is it took them about 2 weeks to figure that out, if you're not counting spring, whereas none of the teams that we're playing are going to have that kind of time allotment.
Right. So, I mean, it's I thought Drogosh had a solid day as the guy running the twos. Maybe didn't have the number of big time throws that Lichty had, but that's what you expect from Brady Lichtenberg. If he takes over the number one spot, he's going to stand in the pocket and deliver some really good throws, and that's what he did today. So I think that's the biggest takeaway. That's the lead, is that Emory wasn't there, and the offense still looked competent in their ability to move the football with Brady Lichtenberg.
Anything interesting from either Scott Satterfield or Evan Prater that you wanted to
go watch the Evan Prater interview? Go watch it. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It is a kid that loves Cincinnati.
Little boy's all grown up.
He is, man. Like, I don't know if you had a chance to watch it.
Not yet.
He nailed it. Like, he was so good. And there was some tough questions there about swallowing your pride a little bit and making that switch and being a team guy and asked some I think Jason Williams from the Inquirer asked him about, was there ever a thought of the transfer portal? And he's like, look, man, I'm from Cincinnati. I wanted to be here. That's why I committed to Cincinnati. I could have gone to a lot of places out of high school. I could have gone to a lot of places in the transfer portal, but I want to be here. And then I asked him a follow-up on, you know, did spoken or unspoken, you, Malik, Eric Phillips, Dante Corleone, all these local guys, was there kind of an unspoken or spoken bond of like, we're here, like we're not running, you know, what we committed to and what this was all about might have changed, but we are Cincinnati and we're staying. And he acknowledged, yeah, like that was something that like we all committed to play here because it was important for us to rep our home. And we didn't leave because it's still important for us, even in a new setting, new environment, to rep our home. So that part was really, really cool.
Very good.
Let's get out of here. Make sure you're here tomorrow night. I'm not sure when it's going to go up yet, but you'll want to watch the nightcap tomorrow night. I promise. It's going to be a good one. We'll see you next time. Thanks to Galactic Fried Chicken. Brought to you by BearcatJournal.com.
See ya.